What's going on, football overseas? My name is Kevin from Blaugrana Zone. I'm bringing you La Liga match day 32. Let's jump right in. I understand last week was match day 33. For scheduling purposes, I guess La Liga decided to do it this way. We're playing 33 first. Now we're playing 32. Next week is 34. If you're confused, I'm even more confused. We're going to jump right in with the games of this weekend, starting with Real Madrid versus Betis. Real Madrid have been on a terrible streak right now. I don't think it'll get better against this Real Betis team if they've dropped points to teams that are lower on the table than Betis. This game has tie written all over it. I can't give the win to Real Madrid unless they pull off some sort of historic robbery, which they're more than capable of doing so. So I might have to give this win to Real Madrid, but I think it will be a tie. It has all the makings of a tie. Up next, we've got Alaves versus Mallorca. Last week, Alaves actually put up a pretty good game against Real Madrid, even though they lost. And for that reason, I think Alaves will have a real spark behind them that they can finish the season strong. If they can play like that against a full-strength Real Madrid with Vinny, Mbappe, Jude, they can play against anybody then. And I think for that reason, I'll give Alaves the win over Mallorca. Up next, we've got Getafe versus Barcelona. Barcelona with a win here could be this much closer to being champions. And I think we're very capable of doing so at Barcelona. Even without Lamine, without Rafinha, we've got Rashford, we've got Ferran, we've got Rooney, we have a lot of people who can finish if they're the main guy. And because Lamine and Rafinha are not with the team right now, somebody has to step up, and I think somebody will step up. And I think that Barcelona can beat Getafe easily. Up next, we've got Valencia versus Girona. Valencia tied with Mallorca. Not great for either team. You're not really showing levels here. And then Girona lost to Real Betis, expected. So neither team is doing great. Neither team is on the best form. But I'm going to have to give the win to Girona. I think it's much harder going against Betis than it was for Valencia against Mallorca. For that reason, Girona gets this win. Up next, we've got Atletico de Madrid versus Atletico Bilbao. This is the Kevin hate Super Bowl for real. Whoever wins, whatever, but whoever loses, I will be ecstatic. And I think Atletico de Madrid will lose because they're going to be rotating their squad, prioritize UCL. They don't care about La Liga. They've been out of this race for a while now. For that reason, the win will go to Atletico Bilbao. Up next, we've got Rayo Vallecano versus Real Sociedad. I think Sociedad, after winning that cup against Atletico Madrid, they have a spark in their back, just like Alaves does. I think once you are a mid to lower label team and you beat one of the top teams in Spain, you start going on a crazy streak. The only team who didn't do it was Sevilla, really. But I think Sociedad will win easily over Rayo Vallecano. Even though Rayo is a team that likes to sit back, play defensive, and let you hold possession, I think Sociedad can get it done. Up next, we've got Real Oviedo versus Elche. Real Oviedo tied to Villarreal, whereas Elche beat Atletico Madrid 3-2. Atletico Madrid with a red card. I think it's much more difficult to tie against Villarreal than it is to beat a rotating Atletico Madrid squad who has a red card. For that reason, I'll give this win to Real Oviedo. Even though they're not doing great, I think a tie against Villarreal shows them that, hey, we have some talent here. Let's close out the season strong, and I think they'll do that today versus Elche. Up next, we've got Osasuna versus Sevilla. Sevilla's been garbage since October, brother, and they lost to Levante. Not great. And Osasuna lost to Atletico Bilbao with a red card. Not great. Neither of these teams are that good. This really has the makings of a tie to it as well. But I could see Osasuna winning just because Sevilla have been that bad, genuinely. Alexis Sanchez's second stint at Sevilla, no bueno. The only highlight was the win against Barcelona. After that, all downhill. Win for Osasuna. Up next, Villarreal versus Celta Vigo. As I mentioned, Villarreal tied to Real Oviedo. Celta Vigo lost to Barcelona. But I think Celta Vigo played a really good game. Barcelona won because of the penalty. I think Celta Vigo could get the job done against Villarreal. Celta Vigo are not a bad team. I think they have a lot of individual good players. They got some veterans. They're just a mid-table team. And I think that they'll actually make themselves known against Villarreal. Last but not least, Espanyol versus Levante. We mentioned that Levante beat Sevilla 2-0. And Espanyol lost to Rayo Vallecano, 1-0. But as much as I hate to say it, I don't think Levante will win this game. Beating Sevilla 2-0 is kind of like doing your homework. It's what you should do. But Espanyol actually had a task on their hands, and they have another one this week, and I think they'll handle it this week. Espanyol will get the win over Levante. And these have been my predictions for La Liga Match Day 32. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Let me know if you agree with me in those comments. Let me know if your team is picking up 3 points because, hey, my team is about to be champions soon. You know, tell Real Madrid to get that guard of honor ready for us. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you want to see more of me, you can find me at Blaugrana Zone. Thank you so much, Football Overseas, and I'll see you next time.